The Central GUI is our main graphical user interface, and we use it for all our setup functions, and also it contains a lot of information and feedback. It's divided into 5 main areas. Along the top we have the title bar with our page selection, the name and label of the channel in access, an area where we can either see the time of day, or in this example we're looking at our integrated loudness measurement for the 5.1 output. And on the right we were seeing the name of the active production and the last snapshot that I saved or loaded. The main working area can be switched between different pages. At the moment we're looking at the signal list. If I press the production button on the screen control panel, then I would look at the list of productions saved on the system. Similarly, if I press snapshot button, I can look at the snapshot list. There are different ways of changing the page, so I can use the dedicated keys on the screen control panel, or I can use, at the top left of the display, the drop-down page menu. If you're using the dedicated keys, then just remember there might be more than one page that you can switch to. So for example, the signal button will flip between the signal list and the signal settings. Towards the bottom of the GUI, there are mini meters, and they will meter whatever signals are assigned to my 16 main fader strips. There is also a very narrow status bar running along the bottom of the display. And this shows information such as how much data space is left on my internal memory for productions and snapshots, the software version, and information like my sync source. We are currently synced to internal. On the right of the GUI, I have some touchscreen buttons which I can use for different functions, but here we're using them for monitor source selection. So for example, I can choose a different monitor source for the Control Room 1 output, or for the Control Room 2 output, and then I have different pages available so that I can access different monitor sources. So we have an area on the right of the GUI where we can fit a number of different user options, for example an RTW metering display, and this console is also fitted with a Lavo user button panel, so we have extra user buttons here which can be programmed for different functions. There's also an XLR connector which you could use to connect your TalkBack microphone if you're using the console's internal TalkBack. And then there are 2 USB ports. One of these we'd usually use for the console keyboard.